First off, good evening to everybody. Congratulations to all of our award recipients tonight. I think it's outstanding. In fact, when I told my parents I was coming to one of these, they were very excited for me until I told them I was introducing somebody. And then they stopped the plans to make the trip down here. The lady I'm here to talk to you all tonight about is a celebrity, as Dr. Weir said. She is the head coach of our equestrian team here at the University of South Carolina. I remember July of 2009 when the athletic department hired me, and my boss called me into his office. He said, "All right, Corey, we need someone with a video background." And I'm like, "All right, I'm pumped up. I'm going to do this job." And he goes, "By the way, we also need you to work with the equestrian team." I said, "All right, that's fine, good enough." A couple weeks later, she walks into my boss's office with one of our SWAs at the time, and he calls me back into his office. He goes, "All right, Corey, I need to talk to you for a sec. Boo's not happy about having you. She doesn't want a grad student. She wants a full-time person." He said, "So I need you to do a good job for me. I need you to go hit a home run." 6 years later, I've gotten to know Coach very well, and the kind of person she is and the kind of leader and role model that she is for females in college athletics. We have one of the longest equestrian programs in the country at 19 years. She's been the head coach of it for 18. When the SEC added the sport of equestrian at the start of the 2012-13 season, it was a big goal of hers to be the first team to get to do that. And with all due respect to Jennifer, we beat Auburn to win that first SEC championship. This season, we had two very close losses to start our season off. So Dean Bierbauer called her last week. He said, "Coach, you're going to Auburn. We're going to need you to get this one done for us. Otherwise, we're going to do a switcheroo at the last minute." So we went down to Auburn, and at the beginning of the season, she tells the girls, on social media, do not go out there and run your mouth about other teams. Don't talk stuff to help them put it on the bulletin board. Well, a couple days before the Auburn meet, I like to follow the other newspapers and see what's out there. And Auburn's coach, Greg Williams, someone that Boo has a lot of respect for, gave a line in his quote that said, "We expect to win." Well, we beat them. So we are excited now to have beaten Auburn 6 straight times. So as this sport has grown, Boo has been instrumental in what we've done here at South Carolina. The equestrian team was the first athletics program in school history to win 2 straight SEC championships. They did it in 2013 and 2014. Also, in both of those years, she was voted SEC Coach of the Year by her peers in the conference. Last year, when we hosted the SEC championship, it was initially thought that Georgia had beaten us in a tiebreaker. And after we checked some scores, about an hour and a half later, we determined that, in fact, we had won. And I promise you, of all the phone calls I've had to make, to call the president and tell him not only did we win, but he needs to speed back up 77 from campus so he can be here for the trophy presentation was a very awkward conversation. But he got back for that, and it was a very special moment for us. And one thing that we do a lot in the athletic department and in college athletics through Title IX and other initiatives is try to grow athletic opportunities for women, not only just athletic, but academic as well. And if you have ever been CC'd on one of her grade-related emails to the teams, you know that she is tougher than any parent when it comes to grades. She is very serious about that with all 40 of her kids, as I like to call them. But she is a great role model for them. A lot of young ladies, thousands over the years since she's helped develop this sport, have gone on to earn college degrees because of a lot of work that she has done to build it up as an NCAA sport. She is very highly regarded, not only in the equestrian field, but also in college athletics. They call Coach Sprayer the HBC, the head ball coach. We call her the HPC, the head pony coach. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce Boo Major.
You know, I've sat up here and I've looked at everybody out here, and I think all of my professors are long gone because I graduated 33 years ago. And, you know, one of the things that I was a transfer student from a school in Virginia where I went as a liberal arts major, and but I really went to that school because of their equestrian program. And that was kind of a mistake, because the one thing I went there for was the equestrian program, and I really had no idea what I wanted to major in college. And so I went and I got there and I spent a couple of years there and realized there was nothing there for me except for the equestrian program, which didn't offer a major. So I realized that I had to make a change. And I'm a Columbia girl. I'm born in Columbia, raised in Columbia. So I had to bring myself back to Columbia and go to the University of South Carolina. The Virginia experience was mistake number one, of going to a school and for their equestrian program instead of their academics program. So when I came back to South Carolina, it was like, okay, what am I going to major in here? I want to be a riding instructor, and what does University of South Carolina have to offer me? And I thought it was media arts. And and I hear a lot of chuckles. If you were here 33 years ago for media arts, that might have been mistake number two. That when I got, and nothing against media arts, because I'm sure it's fantastic now, but back then, my introduction to media arts was, here is this long tape, and there are words and phrases on this tape all the way through, and your job is to splice and tape this to where it makes a coherent paragraph on the audio tape. And, the words are splice and tape, that I don't think is used in journalism anymore, or much anyway, when you put them together. So the splicing and taping was not for me, but lucky for me that in the media arts department that I did have to take a journalism class, and when I got into that class in journalism, I thought, this looks like a lot of fun. This looks like something that I would really like to do. So that was where I got into the journalism school. Now, reality is I really wanted to be an equestrian instructor for my whole life, but my parents said, if you do not go to college and do not get a degree, you will do nothing for your life. And so for me, it was, let's go to school, let's get that journalism degree, and then let's go teach horseback riding for the rest of my life. And so got the degree and really thought that, okay, that's it. I'm done, don't have to deal with journalism anymore. I'm out of college, life is good, everything's great. And I was really wrong. Then we fast forward to 1997 when I was interviewed and accepted the job at the University of South Carolina, where I had to become, I didn't have to become, but I became the head coach of South Carolina. And, I've always loved the University of South Carolina. My grandfather played football for Carolina way back when in 1908, and my parents were huge supporters. My sisters, except one, are big South Carolina sports fans. And so for me, being part of the athletic department at South Carolina was really a dream come true. But, what was it that I could do? And when you added the equestrian part to it, then it was just like this dream job for me. And I remember talking to my sisters and saying, should I take this job? What do you think? And they're just like, you are crazy if you don't take this job. I think for me, it really became my dream job. But going into this job when I first started, and it was a long time ago, we had no support at all in or equestrian. And, football had support, but equestrian did not have a whole lot of support. And so I found myself as the head coach, the assistant coach, the barn manager, the strength coach, the athletic trainer, and yes, I was the media relations person as well. And that's where I really realized that my experience in the journalism school at Carolina really came in to help me a lot. I wrote the releases for equestrian the first 3 or 4 years. We had media guides. I was the one who wrote everything in the media guides and approved the pictures. I still approve the pictures, but I really, and back then when I was doing it, I didn't think anything about my journalism degree, except I did think I was very thankful that I had that degree, because without that, I don't think I could have written the releases like they technically should have looked like on paper when you're writing it as a journalism student. So I really was, the fact that I thought that degree was not going to help me in the long run was a big mistake. It really was amazing, and it got brought more to me through talking to Dean Bierbauer through the past few years. And Dean Bierbauer was not here when I was at school here, but I've really gotten to know him, and I can tell you guys, and I know you guys all know he's a great guy, but we've had recruits come in here and we are struggling, going, God, can you just meet with our kids at 3:00 or whatever? And they're like, oh no, we can't meet. And and I know all you guys know Debbie Garris, and she's a huge horse person, and Debbie would get on the phone and say, we'll get it. And the next thing I know, I'm bringing my kids in to meet with the dean, at the journalism school for their equestrian, for him to talk to them. And he's taking them on a personal tour of the school. So there's been a huge, benefit, I think, that I've experienced as far as the journalism school and the girls on the equestrian teams are concerned. But one of my things was that, God, I just majored in journalism because it was fun. I loved it. I had a great time. But one of the things that Dean Bierbauer brought to my attention was that it was fun because I enjoyed it, and maybe through school that there were a lot of things that I did that, and this is the truth, that I did not enjoy. I did not enjoy math. Somebody was talking about math. No, not on math. There were a lot of things I didn't enjoy, but certainly I really felt like I found a niche in the journalism school. He also pointed out to me where I thought that I wasn't using my degree for anything, that frankly I use my degree for everything. Instead of the interviewer, I became the interviewee, and all that time of knowing how to stand in front of a camera and, but how to use your hands and how to not to say or 100 times really helped me. And this is ancient, and I know the times have changed tremendously, but that kind of stuff is, what really made me realize that, gosh, I use this degree all the time. And when you're talking about public relations, that I've got, I all the time am trying to sell this university and trying to sell our athletics department and our equestrian program to prospects and prospects' parents and other folks, and even the equestrian industry, trying to sell the equestrian industry to other colleges. I think that is, I feel like I've really used that for my benefit, and what I thought in the past wasn't, God, I never used this degree, that I've really used this degree quite a bit over the years. So it's kind of a cool thing for me. I'm shocked to be up here, frankly, but because I don't have a journalism, I haven't gone into the journalism part of the world, but in the same time, I do feel like I've used it quite a bit in my life. And, so from there, you have to thank folks. And I certainly want to, thanks to all my professors who are not here. And I particularly want to, and I swear, I can't remember anybody. I do remember Lapicalo. I do remember that name. But I had a professor that I had a D going into my final exam, my last semester in journalism law, and it about killed me. And I bless his heart, he gave me a C-. And so that's what got me to graduate. So I really appreciate that. And I certainly thank Dean Bierbauer and the journalism school for everything that they have done to support us and our students that are going through the journalism school. I have to look at two of my colleagues that are sitting over here, Charles Bloom and Corey Burkharth, and they have done a lot to yank me into the 21st century of journalism and media relations and things like that. And I just want y'all to recognize that who's up here first. They're both graduates of the University of South Carolina. So, and they honestly should be up here ahead of me, but they're not. what? So, so I do want to recognize them because they've been great. And my son is playing football tonight, so he's not here. He's 14 years old and is in the 9th grade and playing football at Blythewood High School. And thank goodness he's not here because he'd be running around all over everywhere. Certainly, and I go on and on. My parents would be, who are not with us anymore, but would be doing the happy dance up in the big stars because I got an award that was related to education and not related to horses. And I am not kidding. They would be like, you have got to be kidding. I cannot believe that she has gotten that. And lastly, I certainly want to thank my sisters who are all, who are always here to support me. They are, and I'm going to get upset, but have put up with my shenanigans for the last 50 years and hopefully 50 more years. And, have just pointed me in the right direction. And I hope they continue to point me even more in the right direction. But I thank you guys all. This is a great award. I'm certainly honored to have it. And thank you very much.